What if I told you that Riot once released a patch that broke every rule in League of Legends on purpose? Not a bug, not a leak, an official update where Jax had a rocket launcher, Tryndamere couldn't die, and Teemo got even more annoying than ever. This wasn't a dream, it was real. And for one glorious day, Riot turned League into a complete fever dream. Balance was deleted and logic became optional. This was the April Fool's patch of 2011. It began with the long-awaited release of Lee Sin. Riot had teased him in the game files for months and players were hyped. But Riot leaned into the joke hard. When they dropped Lee Sin's champion spotlight, it was completely blurred out. Not a low-quality video of any kind, it was just literally a mess of fog and pixels. Why? Because he's blind. That's it. That was the punchline. Freak calmly explained his abilities while you stared at static. It was Riot trying their best to troll the community, but it was nothing compared to the patch notes that followed. You'd think that if anyone in League had job security, it'd be Akali. Assassin, stealthy, dual-bladed, definition of ninja, right? But in the April Fool's patch, Riot decided she wasn't ninja enough, so they simply revoked her ninja status. Akali is no longer a ninja. That was it. And to make it even better, her ninja status got handed off to someone far more qualified. That's right, Alistar. League's angry cow got promoted. In this patch, Alistar became a ninja. But it didn't stop there. Riot gave his kit a twist too. Pulverize now slammed enemies into the ground instead of knocking them into the air. Think of a gentle RKO. And Headbutt? Gone. It was replaced with Blitzcrank's rocket grab, meaning Alistar could now yank enemies in like a metal-armed goofball instead of knocking them away. Just imagine the gameplay of Alistar rocket grabbing you followed by a big slam into the ground. This patch should have been a permanent game mode, to be honest. Then there was Amumu, League's forever crying mummy, right? Except on April Fool's. He was happy. Riot just flipped the emotional switch like it was nothing. To match the mood, Riot even swapped out his skin. Amumu has been replaced with Punk Mumu. From emo to edgy in one patch. Annie finally hit her growth spurt. In this patch, Annie has grown up and is now a teenager. She's still rage-quitting people with fireballs, just now with puberty anger. Oh, and Tibbers wears armor now, because apparently a 10-foot flaming bear wasn't OP enough. Blitzcrank got a personality update. Now, every time he uses Power Fist, he giggles. So, instead of fearing the silence of the sudden uppercut, you just hear a cheerful robot chuckle as you get launched. Actually, this could have stayed into the game. Add some fun when you get grabbed and punched, no? And then we have Cassiopeia. Riot just deleted her. Cassiopeia has been removed from League following an incident involving a plane. Then came the punchline: we're tired of all the misfortuning snakes on that misfortuning plane. Yes, a full snakes on a plane joke made it into the patch notes. You couldn't even pick her, she was just gone, lore and all. But listen to this. Cho'Gath started the game at max feast stacks, already gigantic. That meant minute 1 he was basically an unkillable Elden Ring boss. Oh, and blushes can no longer stealth Cho'Gath because he was too darn big to fit in them. Feast his ult still worked too, so you could just keep growing. By late game, Cho wasn't hiding in the map, he was the map. In this patch, Corki basically became a one-man airstrike. Valkyrie? Now global. Want to bomb top lane from bot? Go for it. Gatling gun still shreds enemies, but now it heals allies too. So Corki was out here melting tanks and playing pocket healer at the same time. And to top it off, he could now fly over walls without even using Valkyrie. That's right, Corki no longer needed abilities to take flight. He just did. Imagine a champion with global mobility, sustain, and no terrain restrictions. Basically, Riot made Corki the Terran Banshee of Summoner's Rift. And we didn't complain because back in the days, League didn't really had a toxic community like nowadays. Also, we have Mundo. He discovered mana. Yes, out of nowhere he just decided blue was a good color. So Riot gave him a mana bar. But they didn't change any of his abilities. They still cost health like always. So the mana bar, purely cosmetic. No one knew why it was there, including Mundo. This was the moment Riot looked at Fiddlesticks and said, what if he actually lived up to the horror of a scarecrow? Crowstorm now automatically feared everyone it hit. You didn't need it to be unseen. And Terrify, which was his passive back in the days, it feared enemies for a straight 10 seconds at all ranks. If he ults you, you were gone. If he casts Q, you were gone. Then, after making him the most broken champion in League, Riot just removed him. Fiddle himself was gone. Vanished. Like a dark ritual went too far, and Fiddle accidentally deleted himself. Then we have Galio, who didn't get stronger in this patch, he got louder. Riot added one simple change. Whenever he channeled Idol of Durand, his old ultimate, he now shouted, Demacia! So you basically saw Galio turning into a statue while taunting enemies and shouting Demacia, followed by a big blast of damage. I do often prefer his old ultimate. This patch turned Gangplank into the ultimate long-distance pirate. Riot replaced his model with a targeting reticle. Seriously, you didn't even see GP anymore, just his aim. Why? Because he now fights from his boat. That's right, off-screen artillery support. His parlay became global, meaning he could sit offshore and shoot you from anywhere. His voice lines? Completely reworked. Now they echoed from a distance and included many crazy pirate laughter. Gangplank basically turned into an OP version of the untargetable Yuumi. But just as the patch notes were getting good, tragedy struck in the taverns. Gragas is now sober. No ability changes, just a single patch note that devastated fans everywhere. Imagine loading into a game and realizing your barrel-hurling, belly-flopping champ has sworn off the drink. No more drunken rage, just regret. Pour one out for him, because he won't. This time, Garen got reworked into a landscaper. Riot removed Courage and gave him a new ability, Plant Grass. Yes, Garen could now infect an area with grass seeds, which would slowly grow into extra brush over 30 seconds. And not just for him, everyone could use it. Teemo mains cried with joy while reading that. It wasn't a buff or a nerf, it was terraforming pun intended. From Demacian warrior to part-time gardener in one patch. Jax was the real rollercoaster. First, Riot removed his ability to dodge. Then they decided his lamppost was too OP, so they gave him a rocket launcher instead. Suddenly, all of Jax's abilities became ranged and explosive. Yes, Jax became a walking missile barrage. And right when you thought he changed forever, Jax can now dodge again. Just like that, he's back to juking your autos, but now with a bazooka. This is just peak design. Riot decided Sion needed a little break. Sion had taken a sabbatical from the League to pursue his lifelong dream of teaching kindergarten. No buffs, no nerfs, he just left. From smashing towers to helping kids with coloring books. But don't worry, Riot assured us he'll be back. Nidalee got younger. Literally. Riot reduced her age by 10 years, no reason given. And they renamed her ultimate from Aspect of the Cougar to Aspect of the Puma. Same claws, same spears, just now with a younger, rebranded cat form. Pantheon's ultimate, Grand Skyfall, got a new name, Mandrop. Yep, Riot just said what we were all thinking. Still drops from the sky, still slams the ground, just now with honesty. Severe's Ricochet got a buff. Now it applied on-hit effects like Tiamat and Madrid's Blood Razor. That meant every bounce could deal bonus damage just by bouncing. You didn't need to do anything fancy, just press W and let the items do the work. Then Riot dropped the biggest nerf of all. Sona now requires skill to play. That's it. No numbers, no cooldowns, just actual effort. A nightmare for AFK support mains everywhere. We also have Zilean, who got way too powerful. Riot said he can now travel back in time, creating alternate timelines and universes. Basically, he became League's version of Doctor Strange. Then they added, something has gone terribly wrong. Yeah, we just don't know what, but I'm guessing he saw the future of League and what happened to him. Teemo got cuter, they said. His cuteness stat increased by 10%, and Riot made him untargetable by enemies. Yeah, you couldn't hit him anymore. Not with skills, not with autos, he became even more annoying than his own mushrooms. And when you think it can't get any better, it wasn't just the champions that got Riot's April Fool's treatment. Riot also had some fun with a few items. Riot added the Yordle Saddle, an item that lets any Yordle champion ride Cho'Gath. Yes, ride him, like a mount. Teemo on a giant monster, Tristana charging into battle on a Godzilla. Better than Kled's mount, right? Wriggle's Lantern has a new passive. It taunts all nearby Jaxes, friend or enemy. So if a Jax was close, he was diving you no matter what. And then there's Tiamat, who just got changed to Tamat after one of the most creative patches Riot released. This is what they ended with. There were some fun skins that Riot came up with in this patch, but never released, like 8-bit tile sticks, who could have fitted into the project skin line. Some other Urf skins could have also been released, like Urfdir, Nonurf, Urlaf, Ramurf, and Urfot. The last one was Seeing Eye Cog, which I hope gets released somewhere in the future after 15 years. But with Riot, you just never know.